You know the feeling. You're just trying to read an article or use an app, and bam, another pop-up. You click accept without even thinking. But what if that little click is part of a way bigger, more complicated problem? Well, today we're going to break down the hidden world of consent fatigue.
Come on, be honest. I think we all know the answer is a big fat yes. We've all been there. You're in a rush, a box appears on your screen, and you just want to get rid of it. So you click whatever button seems like the fastest way forward. Don't worry, you are definitely not alone in this.
And believe it or not, there's an actual name for this feeling of just being totally over it. It's called consent fatigue. It's that moment when our brains just kind of shut down from the constant requests and we start clicking yes on autopilot. Now, this isn't just some minor annoyance, or a bad habit that we've all developed. This accept-all reflex, it actually has some pretty serious consequences, both for us as users and for the companies that are asking for our data. This right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the problem. The second we, the users, stop caring and stop making real choices, the whole system just falls apart. We're not actually protected, and the organizations aren't getting real permission. It's a lose-lose.
Right, so the impact of this fatigue goes way, way beyond just being a frustrating experience. It creates some very real-world problems that we need to talk about.
Okay, so let's break it down. First, obviously, it's a terrible user experience. But second, and this is huge, it completely erodes our trust in a brand or a service. And finally, for the company, it can land them in some serious legal hot water for not following privacy laws. I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. When we click yes because we're just exhausted, that's not real consent. We're basically just surrendering our choice, our agency, and ultimately our data. And this is so critical because major privacy laws like GDPR and the CCPA, they're built on this fundamental idea that consent has to be a genuine choice. It has to be freely given, you have to be informed, and it has to be specific. Consent fatigue pretty much destroys every single one of those principles. So, how did we get here? What's actually causing this massive, widespread problem? Let's take a closer look and dissect the root causes of consent fatigue to see what's really going on. It really boils down to a few main culprits. First, it's just the sheer number of pop-ups. It's relentless. Then, you've got all this confusing legal language that nobody can possibly understand. That's often paired with sneaky, deceptive design tricks and topped off with a feeling that you have no real choice anyway. It's either accept or leave. Sound familiar?
Okay, take a look at this because it's a perfect visual breakdown of those tricky designs. They're often called dark patterns. On the left, you see all the tricks. Boxes that are already checked for you, a reject button that's practically invisible, or a big, bright, shiny accept button right next to a dull, gray one. The honest design on the right, it's the total opposite. It's clear, it's balanced, and it actually respects your ability to choose.
All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. The good news is that consent fatigue is absolutely preventable. So, how do we fix it? Let's pivot and look at some real, actionable ways to design a system that actually works for everyone.
Here's the game plan. It's 5 key steps to building a much better consent experience. It's all about being clear, respectful, and totally honest. Each one of these is a critical piece of the puzzle, so let's zoom in on a couple of them.
Just look at this. It's a perfect example of the power of using plain language. On the left, you've got that typical corporate jargon that just feels designed to confuse you. But on the right, it's a simple, direct statement. It tells you what's going on, and most importantly, it puts you in control. The difference is night and day.
Being transparent is another massive piece of this. It's not good enough to just ask for data. Companies need to be totally upfront about what they're collecting, why they need it, and, this part is key, how it's actually going to benefit you, the user. And if you take away one design tip from this whole thing, let it be this: balance your buttons.
Just make accept and reject look and feel equal. When you do that, you're giving the user a real, genuine choice. You're not trying to trick them into saying yes.
So, when you start putting all these pieces together, something really cool happens. We stop seeing privacy as this annoying legal thing we have to deal with, and we start seeing it as a core part of the experience. It becomes a promise.
And the philosophy that's guiding this entire shift is called privacy by design. It's this really powerful idea that privacy shouldn't be an afterthought, something you tack on at the end. It has to be baked into the product from the absolute beginning.
So what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, it means making privacy a totally seamless and intuitive part of the experience. It means collecting only the data that is absolutely necessary, and it means empowering users to make real choices, not just forcing them to comply. And here is the ultimate payoff. The companies that really embrace this way of thinking aren't just protecting themselves from getting fined. They're building something so much more valuable: trust. And in our digital world, trust is everything. It's the ultimate currency.
So let's end on this thought. We really can move beyond this world of endless, annoying pop-ups. We can create a digital space where our privacy is just respected by default, not as a box we have to check, but as a fundamental promise. Honestly, the future of the internet kind of depends on it.